digestive system physiology. In this section we are going to see what are the components which are secreted by the digestive system basically, and how they are going to digest the carbohydrates, fats, lipids, what the foods we are going to take on from the outside. So they are going to how they are going to digest these food molecules. So let's start our topic, and first we're going to also see the some histological point of view, how the what are the linings of the GI system, what are the main cells, main glands of the GI system. They are going to produce the action on these substances like the carbohydrate food, or the we can say the fats, lipids, these molecules. What are the main digestive enzymes or the digestive glands? Let's see here. We can see there is a GIT. In GIT there is a help. What are the main role of GIT? There is a basically main role is digestion and absorption. The any molecule is going to digest it, it means they are going to convert into the simple substances, simple complexes molecules, and they are going to after that they are going to absorb in our GIT system. What are the main layers they are going to digest these food molecules? So they are we can say like this, they are going to absorb, and the food molecules as the food passes in the GIT system they are going to absorb by the layers of the intestine, and they are we can say like this, they are motility. The motility of the GI system is helpful in the absorption. And what the main role of the digestion, how they are going to food going to digest. The digestion is done by the enzymes basically. The digestion is done by the enzymes, but the absorption is done by the GI motility. It means the digestion is done by the what? Enzymes, and absorption is done by the motility. It's mainly help. So the enzymes, what are the enzymes called as? The enzymes which is secreted in the digestive system is called as GI secretion. It means the gastrointestinal tract, what they are going to secrete is called as secretion. The different types of cells is present in the GI system. So what are the motility? What the tube, that is gastric tube, is going to motility, that is called as peristalsis, the movement of the GI tract, and the motility leads to the propagation of the food passing from the one place to other place in the GI system. Let's see how the regulation of the GIT is done by. Regulation, it means what? How the motility, what amount of the motility is going to produce by this GIT tract, how we are going to regulate it. It is regulated by the special type of nervous system that is called as enteric nervous system. And this ENS or enteric nervous system is also called as gut feelings. What does mean gut feelings? Many person is saying like this, I have some gut feelings. It means simple. Gut feelings means simple. Our enteric nervous system or the digestive nervous system is playing main role in that. What are the hormones is going to secreted at the time when the person is nervous, when the person is anxious, when the person is in depression. So these hormones are deciding our mood. So these hormones are deciding our food particles, how they are going to digest in our body. Next, what are the role of hormones here? Hormones are also producing effect, and they controlling the secretion of these hormones from the different glands of the GIT. So these are the main introduction, and now let's see what are the layers of the GIT. We are moving from the outside to inside. Outside means suppose that this is the hole, and in this hole there is a outside. Outside, what is the main component from the outside of this GIT tract? Basically we know from our basic knowledge, the main outside part of the any tube in our body is the serosa or either adventitia. If this hollow structure is covered with peritoneum, that is adventitia or serosa, and next the outer past layer, this is the outermost layer, just below it there is muscularis propria, means proper muscular layer. It means the main muscular layer is the just below the serosa layer. So the first one is, there is the, we can say, muscular externa. It means the muscularis propria layer, and just outside it there is a serosa or fibrosa or adventitia layer. Serosa layer, it means they are covering with mesothelium. It means they are lining the peritoneum. They are lined by the peritoneum basically. And next, after that we can see muscularis externa. Muscularis externa, look on this picture. Muscularis externa, they containing longitudinal muscles, they containing circular muscles, and they containing mesenteric plexus in between them. Mesenteric plexus is basically the group of nerves. They are the nerves which are coming from the digestive, that is enteric nervous system. Basically what we discussed above, how the GIT system is going to regulate it, that is enteric nervous system and GI hormones. So let's see, that is serosa is the outermost layer, outermost layer. And next one is, that is the muscularis propria, that is second one. The first one is serosa, and the third one is the submucosa, and the fourth one is mucosa. So these are the four layers, that is outermost, Second one is the muscularis propria, and the third one is submucosa, and the fourth one is mucosa. Let's see, in submucosa there is a two muscle layer. Inner one is circular muscle, and outer one is there is longitudinal. We can see here the inner one is circular, they are in circular manner. Inner one is circular, and the outer one is, we can see here, longitudinal. They are longitudinal situated, they are longitudinal manner. So outer one is longitudinal, inner one is circular, and between them there is a nerves are situated. In between them there is a small, we can see here, nerves are present. So these are the main components of the muscularis propria. And what is the nerve called as? The nerve called as here mantric plexus. We called as here, that is the mantric plexus, or either we called Auerbach plexus. Either Auerbach plexus or mantric plexus. Auerbach plexus or mantric plexus is the same, that is enteric nervous system. And this muscle, this nerve groups is responsible for the basically motility only. These nerve fibers are responsible for the what? Motility. It means the movement of our digestive tract. The movement of our GI tract is depend on the Auerbach plexus or mantric plexus, and this is situated in the muscularis propria layer. Next we can see the third layer. What is the name of the third layer? The third layer, we can see the name is submucosa, and here is the special type of plexus is present, that is Meissner's plexus. But they are responsible for the secretion, mainly for the secretion. The mantric plexus and Auerbach plexus is related to the motility, the movement of the GI tract, but the Meissner's plexus is responsible for the GI secretion. What? The secretion of GIT. GIT secretion is responsible due to the Meissner's plexus. They are situated into the submucosa. Next, last one layer, the inside, the innermost layer. We can say here the innermost layer is mucosa, and this mucosa is having also muscularis mucosa, that is some muscles part, and that can going to alter the surface of the, we can say, the innermost layer. It means they are exposed to the food particles, they are exposed to the chemicals of the our enzymes. So these are the increasing the surface. Suppose that this is the mucosal membrane, they are going to increase the surface area, so the surface area will be increased in the muscularis. So there is no role of these muscles. What the muscles is present in the mucosal layer, there is no any role in the movement of GIT, there is no any role in the secretion. There is one and only role is the increasing the surface area. And next, after that, just moving inside, we have lamina propria. Just moving inside, we have basement membrane. Just moving inside, we have epithelium of the GIT. So these are the main sequence we are following here. What are the main layers? And next we can see what are the main secretions of the GI. It means what the GIT tract is present in our body is going to secrete some enzymes, which are going to secrete some secretions. It means some watery fluids. And there, what are the main amounts, what are the main, and we can also discuss here how much amount and what are the main components, what are the main glands of the GI. We can see in the detail in later, but now for now we can see here there is a total fluid that is secreted by our GIT is the 9 liter per day. Total secretion of our GIT per day is 9 liter per day. And what is the main component of this 9 liter? The 9 out of 9 liter, the 8.8 liter is going to, out of 9 liter, the 8.8 liter is going to absorbed in our body again. But the out of 9 liter, the 200 ml of the 200 ml of the total secretion is going to excreted in our stool. It means the 200 ml water we are going to lose in each day. It means our body is going to compensate this 200 ml water by taking the fluids from outside. So what are the main GI? We can see here what are the main GI secretion. The main GI secretion, we can see the salivary secretion, gastric secretion, pancreatic secretion, bile secretion, and intestinal secretion. These are the 5 main components we can see here. That is saliva, gastric secretion, pancreatic secretion, and bile secretion, intestinal secretion. These are the 5 main secretion which is going to happen in our GI secretion only. There is no more. It means the saliva from the salivary gland, gastric from the stomach. What are the glands which are situated in our stomach? They are going to secrete the gastric secretion. What are the main parts, that is endocrine or exocrine part of the pancreas is going to secrete the pancreatic secretion, but we are going to discuss a digestive system. It means the pancreatic exocrine part is functioning here. Next one we can see the bile. The bile is mainly secreted by the gallbladder, but the forming the bile in the liver. Next one is the intestinal secretion. Intestinal secretion is the secreted by the intestinal glands. It means the small intestine, there are several glands. The large intestine having glands, no glands, then these are the secretions produced by them. Oh, in some amount we can see there is the several pH of these. pH of these glands. What are the secreting pH of these glands? Basically the saliva pH is, we can see here, that is 7. It means the pH of saliva is 7, that is hypotonic to the plasma. We have to not memorize that, but we have to know about that, because the pH of saliva is 7, that is neutral. But what is the pH of gastric secretion? What is the pH of gastric secretion? That is 2. We can say the 1.5 to 3 pH, but it is the most acidic pH in our GI secretion. And the total, what are the components of total secretion of the GI? What we discussed previously, just before 1 minute, there is a 9 liter secretion of the per day by the total fluid of the GIT. Out of that, 8.8 liter is going to absorb, and 200 ml is excreted throughout the will. It means we are going to see that is in the stool 200 ml is excreted. In GI secretion, saliva is going to produce some amount, gastric secretion some amount, pancreas and so on. So the saliva is going to secrete just 1.5 liter per day. Saliva is how much secreted? 1.5 liter. It means the saliva is secreted 1.5 liter. 1.5 liter per day is secreted by the saliva. And gastric secretion is secreted by how much amount? The gastric secretion is secreted by, gastric secretion is secreted by 2.5 liter per day. 2.5 liter amount of the gastric secretion secreted by the stomach. And about our pancreas is going to secrete something alkaline, and intestinal glands are also going to secrete something alkaline, and these are secreted by, their pH will be the 8.9. Both the pH for the most alkaline for the Brunner's gland, they are situated in our duodenum. Duodenum is the part of a small intestine. A small intestine is having 3 parts. This is the small intestine. Small intestine is having 3 parts. D, J, I, that is duodenum. We can say duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So these are the 3 parts of the small intestine, in which the jejunum is having, the duodenum is having what? There is the Brunner's gland, and this Brunner's gland is going to produce alkaline secretion, that is 8.9 pH. So this is simple. And in next part we are going to discuss about the different secretions of the saliva secretion, gastric secretion. So for now, thank you. See you in next video.